Thank you for joining us and welcome sports fans. You are now watching the Baseball Hippy Show. Baseball Hippy Show. Baseball Hippy Show. Wow, it's the Baseball Hippy Show. Welcome all, it's just love and baseball. Just love and baseball. Just love and baseball. Baseball Hippy Show. Welcome all, it's just love and baseball. Baseball Hippy Show. Welcome all, it's just love and baseball. Baseball just love and baseball. Just love and baseball. Baseball just love and baseball.
Just love and baseball. Woo! Welcome to the Baseball Hippy Show, Season 5, Episode 7, 6, maybe, I don't know.
8.
Wednesday, 8, nice. Damn, it's close. Wednesday, October 16th, 8:27 p.m. Pacific Time. Boom, time stamped. Now we can look back at 30 years and be like, damn, that's what I was doing on October 16, 2024. Midst of the playoffs. We're excited here over in Baseball Hippie HQ. Talking a lot of Ohtani. Big Ohtani. Two-way star power. Brownbear, we flash that mug one more time. This came from the Trout drought for all the real baseball fans. Everybody knows. We had a viral drawing of a guy drew Trout every day until the baseball season started. That's the one. Ohtani, come home. Well, as we do every Baseball Hippie show, other than drink IPAs with the boys, shout out Garrett Cole, we asked Brownbear how he's doing, and then we asked Tobe how he's doing. But let's start with you, Brownbear. How you doing? How you doing this week?
I'm doing good, man. Fall season, baseball playoff season, pumpkin patch season.
I was gonna say
all some of my favorite things, man.
Brownbear still early in his father career. Still getting into his sophomore fathering career right now. What is it? Pumpkin patch season with that?
Hell yeah, it's pumpkin patch season. Yeah. To be fair, I did pumpkin patch shit before I had a kid, but like now it's even cooler. We went to a pumpkin patch the last 2 weekends, and we'll probably go to another one this weekend.
Whoa!
It's just like it's
that much fun.
It's a fun, free thing to do with kids. I mean, some of them cost money, but there are free ones around here that are chill. Yeah,
that's sick.
I'm good.
They grow a good pumpkin. Are you guys in the Northwest? I feel like.
Yeah, are they growing any giant pumpkins? Do we have like county's biggest pumpkin type of fair thing going on at those events?
Yeah, how's the pumpkin yield this year? I agree.
Yeah,
I've seen some good size ones. I don't go anywhere that's like trying to break any records or anything. The big thing,
humble king.
He's a humble giant.
No,
you don't want to get yourself too early.
The big thing all of them have that they try to compete on is like, at least in Oregon, or their apple cider donuts, and then usually like fresh apple cider or like slushy apple cider.
Oh,
I usually get like a dozen of the donuts, and then a slushy apple cider, and that shit's fire.
Oh damn. Okay.
Hell yeah.
I gotta rethink some things in my life. I'll talk about it in a second. But damn, thanks for that, Brownbear. Shit, Pumpkin World. We're there. Tobert. Mr. Tobertson, aka Tober, aka TB HD 10,000, aka Media Manager, aka how's the internet? TikTok? How we TikTok it?
Man, TikTok going great. Internet's fast as ever. Things are happening at a lightning cable speed, if you know what I mean, out there. We're not talking USB-C. We're talking fiber wire.
Whoa.
And yeah, man, year 2 on the pod. 0 social media management has actually been done or required, but
we're at 31.
it's gonna be a tough contract negotiation for next season. But I'm glad I'm here with the boys. Glad I'm here with the boys.
You got job safety as probably the last of the season. Maybe we'll have a World Series edition. You've kept your job for next year, although your productivity is pretty low. You're what we call a clubhouse guy.
Listen, man. We're just trying to sort of base together. So when we do go, into the outer spheres of trying to bring fans in, they have, about 300 podcasts that they can go back on, and then they can go week to week catch up with us.
Fill up the chamber.
So we're inventing the canon right now, the lore, if you will.
I was thinking how our first baseball hippie award went to Edwin Encarnacion, and I was laughing to myself. I was like, damn, that's how long we've been doing this little pod. Yeah, Parrot Man. Anyways, I definitely got the 2 finalists this year, and they're both on the Mets, so you do the thinking there. Yeah,
oh
that's
my god.
Yeah.
But yeah, good to be here with the boys. You are looking lovely today, and let's just start it off, man.
Like,
oh, whoops.
This is the greatest.
It's just a vibe right now.
What is running through you right now?
Fired up. Had a couple IPAs, like with the boys, spraying some champagne. This is the greatest. Yeah.
That's the mood. That's the mood today, boys.
He's rising the ranks as the funniest baseball player. With that in combo with the I don't know how to answer that question about sticky substance is just, yeah, that dude's on one.
Yeah, couple IPAs with the boys. It gets pretty sticky when you let it dry up a little bit. Is IPA? Maybe that's the new sticky.
Oh shit! Garrett. Oh, wow. That's Garrett. That's some Garrett talk right there. New name of the pod, Garrett Talk. Nice, man. It seems like everybody's doing good going in the fall. That's pretty important, I feel like, out in the Northwest, guys. So get your routine, get your shit together, and we'll get through the winter. And not just get through the winter, we'll thrive. Yeah, I gotta say on my end, you just inspired because I kind of tapped out I got invited to a pumpkin patch with my girlfriend recently. We're doing a lot next weekend, so I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna do it. But after the way you describe it, and my girlfriend loves apple cider. So a part of me wants to go to the pumpkin patch just to see if they have apple cider slushies or donuts and see her reaction. Because I'm telling you, she's going to I don't know. It's like, when your partner's super happy, it's kind of fun to be around. It's like infectious because you're like,
oh yeah.
You're like, it's like when they come to baseball games with us, they're like, damn, you're really having a good time. I'm actually having a good time because you're having such a good time right now. So that's what I'm kind of thinking. It's like, damn, I could be missing that moment.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah.
It's good.
No, I'd recommend it.
Nice, man. Well, yeah, we're going to get right into it. We're in the playoffs. And, man, I watched the old pod, so I got some predictions we got last month when we ran it. And that's going to be fun to talk about. And then we'll talk about kind of, a little bit of towards wrap up. And then, I imagine we'll do a World Series pod and we'll give the people what they want. But first, I got to give the shout out. I mean, they really earned it, in my opinion, is the trio of Ortiz, Jeter, and A-Rod on the playoff cast. And actually, I'm going to go with a little bit of a jump. I didn't say this pre-show, but Smoltz. Our boy John Smoltz, Hall of Famer. Sorry for the set. Yeah, Hall of Famer John Smoltz is looking to be, in our lifetime, one of the top tier play-by-play guys. And so it's like in 20 years, kids are going to know John Smoltz possibly more for the play-by-play than his pitching career. Is that weird? That kind of weirded me out the other day. I'm like, man, you are entering old person zone. Like, Smoltz is too good for the job. It's like he never even was a pitcher while you lived. You know, it's like, I feel like kind of like how my dad must have felt. Like he's kind of like an old great that you're like, damn, dude. I like Smoltz. How you guys feel about those four guys? Shout outs.
Yeah, I guess to start with Smoltz, I agree. I think he's a good play-by-play guy. I wonder if people will know him if he keeps doing it for the announcing. I think the one thing that hurts him is he seems, at least currently, he just does it for, I think, Fox on certain Fox broadcasts. So he doesn't have like I don't think he may not have the legacy of someone who like sticks with the same team for like 10 or 20 years 100%. As their announcer or whatever. But I think he's a great play-by-play guy. Good color. And then the Derek Jeter, David Ortiz, and A-Rod combo is just, we talked a little bit about it before the pod, but it's just funny because I think even though two of the guys were on the same team for a number of years, I think they all were rivals in a sense at a certain point. Yeah. I don't think Jeter and A-Rod were ever like super tight when they were on the Yankees.
There's some documentation that points to Jeter not liking A-Rod. I think that's written in the book. But
yeah, in terms of like
learn more about the three. Like, I knew a lot about A-Rod because he's been on the broadcast for a while. But because he has two other big leaguers to kind of call him out on his shit, I feel like you actually learn they're all three personalities come out pretty hard. Like, Jeter might not like that many people. Like, it's not just A-Rod. I'm starting to realize he's kind of like, I hate to do him. I don't think he's curmudgeon-y, but I feel like he kind of, out of the three, he's like the least like bubbly. He's like, nah, fuck that.
Nah, that's my criticism of him. He's a little too try-hardy. And like, I think he tries to be taken a little too seriously.
Yeah.
And tries to come off as this like incredibly knowledgeable baseball person. Which
100%.
In a way he is, but like the try-hardness of it.
100%.
It bothers me. Though I will say, and this is the last thing I'll say, and then I'll pass it to Tobe. I think the three, you couldn't find a trio of people with more credibility than those three, at least in terms of players from the last 20 years. I feel like they're specifically qualified to talk about playoff baseball.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, yeah. Tobe, you got anything on this? Because I got one about Poppy, but you got anything on this?
No, I mean, I agree with both of you. I have been liking Schmaltz. He's been doing the call-in predictions of pitches really well. It's pretty interesting to see.
Yeah, it's how I watch baseball too. So I think it relates because I'm always just trying to guess the next pitch usually.
Totally. Which I think is a common thing, but I almost feel like it's almost like a taboo thing for like color commentators to do actually. So I kind of like it though. I think it's a little insight, especially from a pitcher. He's kind of always looking at it from a pitcher's perspective. But yeah, then I agree. I don't know if you said it right now, but yeah, the comparison to these three with the TNT, Shaq and the boys with these dudes. But I was just looking up I know these guys have beef, the Jeter A-Rod, but the actual quote was a 2001 interview that A-Rod did with Esquire that he said, Jeter's been blessed with great talent around him, so he's never had to lead, which Jeter took offense to. And he also said that he hits second, so you never really have to worry about him. You can pitch around. He said you're always gonna pitch to him because you don't want to pitch around him. So some shots fired. I don't know. I think
A-Rod is just.
But they're funny. They're just way different personality types. You can tell, like, just watching them.
Yeah, I mean, like, Poppy gives the least amount of fucks, but being around the two guys, he also has to, like, show that he's not just a dumbass, and he's not. He's all his takes are, like, to me, pretty good. And then, yeah, I gotta throw some respect A-Rod's way. Like, we were saying before the show, like, A-Rod selling to the networks that he's got a following is just that funny to me. Because any self-respecting baseball fan is going to hate on A-Rod for doing steroids twice, getting caught the second time and getting banned from baseball for a year. Coming back and hitting 40 home runs is part of his legacy, y'all. You can't take that away from the man. But and then New York, you can't also finish that off with New York Yankees like paying off his cost. Like the ending there was just tragedy. And somehow A-Rod, man, I just give him some respect. Where like there's just something about the guy that I like. I just, as a baseball fan, he's like in the club, you know? Like he like, if we lost him tomorrow, I would be the saddest, and I probably hate on him or joke about him the most, you know? So it's like, I give him some credit. He's kind of a douchebag, but it's part of his brand. It's like he's kind of gotten more comfortable in his skin, as in like Jeter hasn't had this much public exposure, so I feel like he doesn't look as comfortable. A-Rod, the way they talk is like, Poppy just is like, yeah, I'm whatever, you know, I'm big Poppy, fuck everybody. Jeter's like, here's how the greatest, you know, like, I know what's up. And A-Rod is like, the way he's like, they don't even need the fourth guy, because A-Rod's the one like, okay, what do you think about that, Poppy? Like, he's like obviously done training. He's like obviously read books about being an announcer. You know, like he's the only one who's like, I'm into being a media person. The other two just come as they are. But he's like, how do you feel about that? You know, okay, yeah, okay, Poppy. But Derek, what do you think? You know, like he like mitigates. I'm like, what are you doing, bro? Like, it's just awesome. I don't know.
Well, I think he has the most to gain, probably the most to lose. I think the other two's reputations aren't really too touched. Though we were talking about Jeter, you know, it's funny. It's like, you know, Jeter's a legend, but still trying to be relevant. And it's like kind of has the face of a man who's drinks a lot of whiskey at night or some shit. Because it's like, that Marlin shit did not work for him. And then he's still trying to be part of baseball. And I'm like, dude, that's why I'm just like, man, I'm sure he's happy how this fits, but he's like, probably just like, damn, I gotta sit next to Poppy and A-Rod. This is how I fucking have to like be relevant still. Like, fuck my life. And then the other point I have to make too, this is social media manager, dude. I'm talking really what the internet's talking about is, what do you think A-Rod's talking about? Ben Affleck, J-Lo, Ben Affleck, diehard Red Sox fan, going back and forth. I think they both divorced her and married her twice. Interesting Thanksgiving dinners at that house, you know. Interesting. That's all I gotta say. A-Rod's outside of his
back with J-Lo. Do not tell me that.
No, I think Ben Affleck's back with her. Yeah, but
no, they divorced.
No, they
recently.
just divorced again.
Yeah.
Oh, see,
you got to keep up on it.
Internet moves fast, man. I don't even know. But
yeah, I was drunk the other weekend talking about the Ben Affleck effect. I don't want to get into it. Maybe at the end of the podcast, I'll tell you my drunken rant. That's for we got to have a little less brain cells for me to try to get this one over on you guys. So anyways, man, yeah, A-Rod, that is interesting because, the New York-Boston rivalry is bitter, and it crosses many
turmoil to man. I guess the point I'm trying to make is he comes in so overly positive with exuberant amounts of energy, and I'm just like, damn. It's an interesting life of Alex Rodriguez, dude. Like, who would have? I mean, you're talking about John Smoltz. It's like, Damn, if A-Rod really keeps it up 10 years, people will talk about him as the dude and not remember his career. It's like that one's even more trippy to think about.
Yeah.
Because his career is fucking crazy.
But he's obviously trying to point it that way. He knows he has no way of making the Hall of Fame, or he missed the Hall of Fame opportunity because of steroids, apparently, unless that gets changed. But he, he's on the broadcast with two, not just like, oh, like they're about to be Hall of Famers, like actually in the Hall. So it's like, unless he took steroids as an 18-year-old, like Canseco kind of insinuates, which they still hate each other, which is crazy because A-Rod will never talk about Jose Canseco.
Did you guys see that tweet from Canseco like a week or two ago?
Yeah.
Like, he's like, I hope the state of Florida is okay for in the hurricane, except one person.
I know, dude. It's crazy. A-Rod is like such a titanium fakeness that like I don't even know how to describe it, man. And like before this show, yeah, how far has he come from the Matt Lauer interview where he deflected every question? His cousin went to jail for his steroid use. Anyways,
his eventual apology too is like not. I don't know. I feel like I've said this on the pod 100 times. I feel like it's the classic. Like, I'm sorry that I got caught for doing this.
So silly.
I'm sorry that you all had to see me get caught.
He's the guy from Parks and Rec.
Dude, literally.
He's like, he's got the like, I'm up at 7 and I'm happy vibe.
Yes, literally. What's that guy? Rob Lowe, bro. The Rob Lowe effect.
Speaking of Rob Lowe, what is he in the celebration trying to tell Ohtani, get excited?
Oh, yeah. Damn. It all connects. He really was. That was hilarious. They do have the exact same energy, bro.
Yeah.
Speaking of Canseco, he had you guys watched the highlights of his home run derby last week?
No.
Dude, he hosted his own home run derby. Listen on whatever the boxing channel is. Listen to these contestants: Johnny Manziel, Antonio Brown, Riff Raff, Ric Flair, Rafael Palmeiro, Amber Rose. To name a few.
Damn, dude. I swear I had a dream with all those people in it the other day. That's just like the random cast of like pop culture. That's like if you just took too many mushrooms and laid on a bed, those are like all the faces you might see. Okay,
it's so funny.
One last shout out here because I forgot, but we're talking about near Hall of Famers. RIP to a legend. Pete Rose also needs to get mentioned. Yeah. Because we did lose. Talk about a titan in baseball. And again, I think this is what I like about the sport. And I'm sure other people feel this way about other sports, but especially baseball in America, because it's like old, is once you're into it long enough, or maybe you like a bad team, I don't know. It's like guys like Pete Rose and A-Rod, they're not the worst things in the world. Like, they're not like, oh, fuck that guy, I don't give a fuck, like even like Brownbear, I hate to say it, but I feel like maybe one day you'll soften on the Malnados of the world. Maybe I'm wrong, but it's like something about time and baseball where you're just like, even the hated ones you kind of like for some reason. I can't describe it because it's all part of the cast of characters and everybody has a role. Am I wrong? Am I wrong about that, though? I don't know.
You're not wrong, but I feel like his role is for me to fucking think he's the softest baseball player in the history of the game.
We have some stats to back that up as well. We'll get into later. Sweet. So, yeah, that's roundups. And, man, let's get straight to... excuse me, that's shout-outs. Let's get straight to weekly roundup. On the weekly roundup. So... we got 4 teams in it. Man, a lot has happened.
Yep.
One team, especially, just what the fuck, man. Just a major what the fuck. the New York Mets, not only are they in it, the fact that they were almost bounced in the 9th inning and fucking Polar Bear brought them back from the dead is hella crazy to me, man. They are by far the wildest run this year. So shout out Mets. Also shout out Cleveland, who, for better or worse, is just good at baseball. You know, it's just like I don't know if it's like underrated or more just like everybody needs to catch up with just like this is what happens when you have kind of like it's not rocket science. It's just pretty just like solid coaching with a good core. Maybe because I still don't understand their formula 100%. I'll be honest. Either does Chris Rose. It feels like, which is funny. We talked. I want to just say this because I listened to the last podcast. We talked a ton about the Yankees and the Dodgers. Weirdly, and I don't want to call it as if it's just inevitable because it's definitely not. But as we sit today, I imagine the Dodgers just won the game. Both the Dodgers and Yankees have the lead going into the World Series. I guess my first question for you guys on the roundup is, do you think it's going to be a Dodgers-Yankees series? What's your props? What's your probabilities on that?
I'll go first on this one. Just like we do every time, we really nail it on the head, man. Our predictions stand corrected. Yes, Jess, it's going to be a Dodgers-Yankees series because that's the script, man. Manfred knew before the season started, dude. He said, we want the big boys. We want them to give them the big cameras and the big lights.
I'm going to stop you there for 1 second and just say a quote that Brown Bear had from the last podcast, which is, they're definitely going to juice the balls in the Dodgers and Yankees game. So the powers that be, as we talk a lot on this show, the corporate entities have a vested interest in two major metropolitan markets going to battle in the World Series.
Yep.
Well, to add on that, shouts out the Mets, a miracle run. Shout out Grimace, Cleveland. You're gonna do it. If you're asking for percentages, I don't even think it's that high. I'd probably go like a little over 50 if we're gonna look at it. But my main point is actually I wouldn't be mad because what I'm looking at is you got two pitching staffs that are kind of so-so. So you're gonna get high-scoring games in a World Series, which I think would be interesting at this point. I don't know, not that that's the main point of baseball at all, but it could be interesting. I mean, you got a lot of power hitters, and it would be fun to watch. I don't know. Also, the other note of that. It could be horrible. It could be zero pitching and games getting out of control pretty quick. So it would be pretty interesting to see on the flip of the coin, see Guardians Mets, though. I don't know. But those are two nice runs, but I don't know.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you. It seems like it's trending in the direction of New York, LA, and I feel like it's probably going to be what we're going to get. And to be honest, at this point, it's not going to shut those fans up, but maybe on the off chance that if we finally get a New York LA series, we can just move past that and have other interesting series in the future. I will say if we get that, we better see Judge and Ohtani. I mean, Ohtani's been not horrible. He's come up in big spots this postseason. Judge has been pretty much trash. He's not very good, I think, historically in the postseason. I'd like to see if we're going to have the two big market teams there. I want to see the big market players for those teams step up and make it interesting. Because I will say this NLCS has been some of the most boring baseball I've watched in quite a while. It's just blowout after blowout. I don't think there's been a game yet. It's only 3 games in, but there hasn't been a game yet where both teams score at least one run. It's just complete shutouts on both sides. It's boring.
I agree. It's weird. It's weird and it's boring. And the first rounds were exciting. The first rounds were great.
Yeah.
The wild card and the first round. Good job, MLB. Good matchups, exciting baseball. Obviously, that polar bear home run, crazy. But other good moments, Otani's first homer, and then Padres and Mets taking it to the Phillies, and then the Padres almost beating the Giants. The giant of the Dodgers. I want to say with something else from the pod. Tobe, you asked, is Yamamoto gonna pitch? And I said they're talking about in relief. Well, how wrong were we? He's starting. He started multiple games, and he's gonna start again. Damn, dude, Yamamoto. Yeah, interesting. Him and Garrett Cole are gonna have a huge spotlight on him if they get to that World Series. Now, to call it is preemptive, but we're going to have that here soon. But I got to say, one guy, if he gets another chance, Senga for the Mets, needs to have a shutdown game because he looked utterly trash-like in his first start. And he was great during the season. He's an awesome pitcher, so I'm kind of surprised. The thing about him not pounding the zone surprised me the most because
wasn't he hurt a little bit during the season though?
He's same boat as Yamamoto. Yeah,
he actually had a pretty gnarly entry. I was looking this up the other day when he pitched because he was so bad. It's torn calf muscle, and they rushed him back, so he only had one AAA game.
Fuck you up a little bit.
Yeah, I think they rushed, and they're doing the things on like typical timelines, and he was like 3 weeks ahead of where he should have been pitching, and so he had one AAA, and so that first game that he came back was basically a second game back from a torn calf muscle. But just like Jess said, he couldn't find the strike zone, which it's tough to see. But
who's going in game 4?
This Mets lineup. Or sorry, I was going to mention one last thing. Is this I don't know if you guys seen a bunch of the clips of the Sean Manaea changing his pitch angle for this year is super interesting. Yeah, it was more like a Chris Sale type of pitch angle.
Manaea was a monster in fantasy baseball for me.
So he's doing more like a sidearm thing now?
Dude, totally. I mean, what year is he even in? Yeah, crazy. Goes more side. I think he dropped it like some 30 degrees, 25 degrees to help relief. He had some sort of shoulder injury, but he said to straight up mimic Chris Sale, and we know how deadly Chris Sale is from online. I mean, virtual and real life.
Yeah, they're talking Yamamoto versus Quintana tomorrow. Yep, and then and
then another interesting stat was the Yoshi versus Darvish. 13 million watched in Japan, 10% of the population.
Wow,
pretty big numbers, for just a division series.
I told you, I was saying on the chat, Darvish is very popular in Japan. I think.
Yeah, 2 certified legends. Yeah, yep.
I think, yeah. Luis Gill, and then to be decided on the Guardians. Clark Schmidt versus Matthew Boyd. Wow. Snooze fest, no offense. Come on, let's see really. Schmidt's pretty good. Okay, so that's another thing is, Tobe, you called New York trash pitching, but then you backed off of that a little bit in the last pod.
Shit, I'll double down that fucking trash, man. A lot of trash pitching.
Yeah, is that a theme this postseason? Because I don't know if it is. I mean, Flaherty had a good game 1. Jay Flair, the vibes are eternal.
Hashtag don't think.
Hashtag don't think.
Big hashtag don't think.
Yeah, he wasn't thinking a lot in that game 1. Tell you that.
I mean, I'll back off again. I mean, it's a beautiful thing about
that's the
short rollover is both Jay Flair and Yoshi got their get back, which short-term memory. So, they pitched great these playoffs. But if they would have lost that series, there would have been a lot of hands pointed at fucking those two dudes. And
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It's interesting. I mean, I'm looking at his contract, bro. Sorry to go off of Jay Flair's, but yeah, I forgot how giant this Yoshi one is. 325 for 12 years.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
I know. Yamamoto's.
But only making $5 million this year, so technically Yoshi's $5 million and Otani's $2 million for 2024.
That's crazy. The deferred contracts are wild to me.
You better have my back in. There's tax implications too, because they both, I guess. So I don't even want to get into it, man. Fuck money.
tax pod.
I'll say this though. As a general baseball fan, like general baseball podcast, we can definitely say that the Dodgers and the Yankees fan bases are insufferable. So that is going to come into play if they make the World Series. Am I wrong on that? Like, there's going to be some I mean, the Dodgers came out this year and took the mask off. And then the Yankees are just notorious. So, like, throwing trash on the field for the Yankees is like, oh, you're throwing trash on the field this year? We did that back in 1970. You know, it's like yeah. They both have a historic thing, but yeah, it's unfortunate. I think those two are going to be, it's the biggest, minus the Mets, but it's, well, I take that back. Yeah, the Mets would be a big story too.
Yeah, Subway Series would be fun, but like, I really do, as much as it's kind of a boring or like, I was joking about like, that's what MLB wants. I feel like it is almost the most interesting option we could have. And like the most exciting, like, the two, like you mentioned, the two fan bases, I think will make it the most exciting. That said, there's, I think, a storyline to find in any matchup. Like, the whole like Cleveland and Mets would be interesting because of Lindor and his history with the Guardians, and then like I said, the Subway Series with the Yankees and
that'd be a good one. Yeah,
I guess Cleveland and LA.
The Subway Series would be charged too, because the Mets fans are like the ultimate underdog, and the Yankees are like the evil empire, but are just not not even close to as dominant as former series winners. Like, if the Yankees win the World Series, all three of us are going to be surprised.
Yeah, and I guess so to kind of go, I think it does come down to the pitching, and I think rather than the year of like bad pitching, it's the year of injured pitching, because I think if these teams were coming in with all of their players healthy in top form,
Bieber, yeah,
exactly,
right.
Yeah, it would, I think, be a little bit from the pitching side more interested, but more interesting. Right. But that to be said, with that said, I feel like a series between LA and New York with New York Yankees with high offense would be interesting too, just as long as they're not going back and forth blowout to blowout.
Last question here. Well, first off, Tobe, last thing Tobe predicted was Dodgers Orioles, which I think is a great prediction, because those were really probably the two best teams from the division, from the league.
Hey, that would have been a fun series.
And then last question. If it is Dodgers Yankees, are we rooting? You know what I'm going to say here, Brownbear. We've been friends for a long time, my guy. And Tobe, we're obviously brothers, so that flanks that. We've been friends for a while too, okay? Brownbear, if it's a Yankees-Dodgers series, who are we rooting for? Are we rooting? Dare I even say the words out loud?
No, dude, I'm going
rolling his great.
Dodgers all the way, man. I can't root for the Yankees. I won't root for the Yankees.
Oh, shit. Because I'm like fuck? I'm rooting for all the other teams but the Dodgers, right? Isn't that how we play it now? But I get you. It's crazy.
I'm saying if it comes down between the Yankees and the Dodgers, I am going Dodgers. For one, I really like I'm a fan of Ohtani. I want to see Ohtani be successful. And it almost to me is like rooting for the Dodgers in the World Series is rooting for further pain to come to the Angels fans who I despise more than the Yankees almost. So like, I root for the Dodgers in spite of the Angels.
I'm not going to vote this year. I just don't know. I'm one of those. I'm like, I'm not going to vote. I'm not informed enough. But no, I'm just rooting for a Game 7, dude.
What did Chisholm say? Yeah, I'm rooting for LA and not the Angels. Or what is it? I'm talking about the LA team and not the Angels.
Yeah, exactly. Jazz Chisholm's got some liners. He said, I never heard him boo for a bum. It's like, well, actually, I get the sentiment, but actually, I have booed quite a few bums. Like, Mitch Garver has gotten a few boos. And I can certify he's a certifiable not good at baseball player.
And they lost a game to KC, and he after the game just said KC got lucky. They just booed the fuck out of him the next game. That's why he was talking about it after the game too, about the boos.
Yeah.
Garber or
no, Chisholm.
Chisholm.
That's why Jazz was getting booed.
That's why he's getting booed. So funny.
Not entirely surprised with his track record, but man, Tobe, what do you? I mean, it wasn't just directed at Brownbear. He let us off. This question, how do you feel?
I mean, dude, gotta go Dodgers, man. We're gonna continue with our West Coast summer state, man. We were chanting all summer, bro. It's if you know, this would be the final nail in Drake's coffin if the Dodgers win. I'll tell you that, man. I'm just kidding. That's a joke. That's a joke.
He's going from the Kendrick Drake angle.
That's nice. Social media managers, man. Fiber wire.
You're right.
Honestly,
to the
it's interesting because I did ask you when we met up to watch that first game. I was like, I get the Dodgers hate, but it's like so. At least with my friends and like certain things, it's so next level to the point where I'm like, what was the specific incidents, as in like the Yankees ruling the early 2000s and 90s, where it's like that where. To me, I'm like, I'm going to do the whole thing where I'm like, all right, the Dodgers obviously huge payroll, won like 9 straight. And then Jesse, you're like, well, it's because their fan base is probably the most irritating fan base of all time. And then the next game, they just threw trash onto the thing. So obviously, if there's like Dodgers fans watching,
I didn't necessarily say that, but I know what I was saying.
Yeah. My bad. Yeah. I painted a bad picture right there. That's not what you said, but it was just funny how that linked up. But I think it's for a team that gets hated on. It's like, and same with the Yankees. It's like they really did get, both of them have at least 3 guys who are probably like some of the most likable people in the league. So it's funny for like 2 kind of evil empire franchises to just like go out and get like an Ohtani, Mookie Betts, and like a Juan Soto.
The more we talk about it, the more I
just
fucking hate it. But yeah. It's like
damage control. Yeah.
What I said real quick is
I drifted off. My last point is I would rather have one of those teams just fully embrace the dark side, and I would kind of almost rather root for them. But right now they're both like, besides Jazz is kind of the only person who talks shit. I'm like, they're both kind of like, I don't know. They're both kind of like, just like good guy franchises, which I'm kind of like, dude, you guys are hated. Like, just embrace. I would just embrace. I don't know.
You're right. It's a lot of like, it's a lot of likable dudes on these 2 hateable teams.
Yeah. It's a weird. It tugs at the heart. It's like a very weird thing to watch.
The heads of Voltron on both teams. Aaron Judge, Shohei Ohtani, and they're both they're just like big friendly guys. There's like that's both their styles. It's like smiley, nice, tall, slender, hot guys. Anyways, that's the editorial at there. But you're right, they are friendly. They're camera friendly too. Let's be real. Anyways, so what I was saying is Dodgers, I was drunk at the game, sitting in the nosebleeds, and I'm talking fifth deck. They got a fifth deck at that stadium. And yeah, there's just like every type of American. I was surprised to see. I felt like Heartland was in the building. I was like, damn, I'm in a big city, but like every type of American is represented. I feel like I've never been to a Yankees game, but I bet I'd feel the same way because I do feel that way in New York sometimes. But like, I felt like I saw people who were just straight from Kansas, and then I saw people who just lived in LA their whole life and never left. And then I was like, damn, everybody's just in the building tonight. And then like a surfer guy.
Well,
and
you know
like,
what it is?
Just like just like all these like stereotypes just kept like walking by me as I was drunk. And I was just like, whoa. This is wild.
Well,
It's not like one homogenized thing of like, kind of like, not like Mariners fans is like that, but it's like kind of like a Northwesterner kind of like vibe, you know? In LA, it was just like, damn, this is if I moved to the country and came to this stadium right on this day, I'd be like, damn, this is what America's like. It just had that like vibe. And I was like drunk.
That's funny.
Well, it's definitely two of the it's the two biggest franchises where it's just like, I'm gonna pick up a cap and root for a team type of franchise. You know, it's like
when I worked at the
choose your
stadium,
team,
I
Dodgers
pulled
or Yankees,
over a
you know?
Yankees fan when they were just mobbed the stadium, and I said, why are you a Yankees fan? And I worked at the team store, and he said, oh, I'm from Montana. And then walked away, and I was just like, I was like, I kind of get it. It's like you're not close enough to Seattle to have that much of an allegiance to Seattle. So why not? Like, just like go look up who's won the most World Series. Okay, cool. I'm for that team. Why not? You
That's
know,
so backwards to me though.
Yeah.
Like you from
Yeah, it's so
Montana
funny.
and you pick like the Yankees. It just doesn't make sense to me.
Okay,
man.
well, let me ask you this question: if you were from Montana, just rural ass Montana, who would you vote for? Who would you root for?
I mean, I guess a believer in like the geographical nature of it. So I guess that my answer would be I think there's a couple options that would make sense for Montana. I think Mariners, Rockies, Twins probably make the most sense. Like,
Okay.
I don't have issues with them being a fan of. I don't have issues with them being a fan of anybody. It makes sense to be a fan of one of those three teams.
That
you could throw the Brewers maybe in there.
Yeah, you can throw the Brewers in there. Like,
okay, that's pragmatic. Love that.
The Twins get that. I'm not gonna lie, the Twins. We pulled over when we were driving across state. We pulled over North Dakota. Mm-hmm. The Twins got all that whole little top section. I imagine you got all of eastern Montana in there. They get all those states. We had walk into the front office of this tire shop, framed Twins stadium picture, double, front side and back side. And I was like, damn. I was like, interesting. I was like, damn. I was like, nice, dude. I was
could
like,
see that because there's a little bit of
yeah.
like Minnesota like accent.
Well,
It's
and
like
Joe
all
Mauer's the boy,
regional.
bro.
Yeah.
But yeah, they kind of fucked up. They shit the bed at the end of the season. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, well, one time I was driving through Montana and we, for some reason, it was like, I don't know, 10, 15 years ago, we went to Hooters. I was with two girls, actually, and right in the lobby of Hooters might have been Idaho. No, it was like Montana. It was like Missoula or something. There's a framed picture of all the girls that work there and Twista, the rapper. I was just like, where are we? What are we doing? It was like Omaha.
That's so
or
funny.
something. Yeah, some weird shit. Anyway,
So funny. Wait, I have a good question.
yes.
All right, out of these four guys, if any of them could win the World Series, I guess it's a kind of dumb question, but who do you think has the most to gain from winning World Series? J-Ram, Judge, Ohtani, or Francisco Lindor? Who do you think? Who do you think's career this is going to change more? Because I'm trying to. Obviously, a lot of these guys already have huge. I mean, all of them have huge contracts. But
that is a great question. Okay, I'm going to say it in order. First off, Lindor has the most. If the Mets win the World Series, Lindor is going to go to the Hall of Fame possibly, and he will be looked at in New York as like, you did that magical season, you were the head. I mean, to me, it's just because of the nature of how underdog they are. Second, I'd say Judge, because he is not on an incredibly great Yankees team, but he does have a lot of pressure on him to win it. And there's just some that, like, he needs that in his legacy. And then third, I go Ohtani. I don't think he necessarily needs it, but it's like almost like an inevitability at this point on how passionate he is to be good at baseball and win. Like, you can just feel it in his thing that he came to the States to do one thing, and that's to be dominant. So winning World Series is only going to add to that. That's why I don't put him one, but obviously he needs that. And then weirdly, J-Ram comes last because to me he's already in the Hall of Fame if he tomorrow, to me, but maybe I haven't looked at the stats correctly. But if he won it, it would be like Dirk in the NBA. It'd be like, damn, it'd be like that time he put the team on his back, and that it only makes him greater. But to me, it's like Lindor, it would change how everyone looked at his contract. It would change how he's just looked at. As in J-Ram, you would be like, yeah, he is a badass. But so yeah, those are my takes, but I can see anyone arguing that. So yeah, Brown, I'm interested in yours.
Yeah, dude, I was gonna say J-Ram number one to kind of just because I think it, very topical, because I think we were all sharing the clip the other day of Boone talking about how he's not underrated and he's tired of hearing people talk about he's underrated, but I think he's underappreciated. And I think so my initial answer was going to be that would get him the recognition and appreciation that I think we all know that he deserves. Though I think your take on Lindor, I think, might have swayed me a little bit, because I do think Lindor's got a little bit more pressure as the guy that left the team, the guy that took the big contract in New York, and he in a way has to legitimize that move to kind of show that, like, that's the reason that he got the contract that he did, is to be this guy. So yeah, I guess I would say Lindor, then J-Ram. I guess I'm tied on Judge and Ohtani. I'm more of an Ohtani fan, so I go Ohtani, Judge. I think Ohtani really, like, as far as his legacy goes, he's got two things left to do, in my opinion. That's win a Cy Young and win the World Series. And so
agreed.
There's really nothing else he has to do to prove that he's the greatest baseball player of all time. So that'll just be cool to see. And then, yeah, I agree. I guess Judge and Ohtani to me is kind of a wash, because they both have like personal records that they've got. They both are I feel like have established they are the guys who they're supposed to be. I don't really need to see the Yankees win any more titles, but it would. Your reasoning about him kind of putting a mediocre Yankees team on his back, I don't disagree with that. So yeah, that's my answer.
Yeah, Tobe,
good question, Tobe.
Dude, good takes. Well, those are great takes. I would throw out one thing where it's like, let's imagine Judge hasn't hit this home run yesterday. This guy's whole postseason, and not that, home runs are everything, but if you're a person like Judge, it's almost is like it's everything. So I'd say if you take away Judge's home runs from yesterday, I'd say there's a lot more pressure on Judge just as a postseason player, especially. I don't know if they get through and do the World Series. And this guy, I mean, there's even a weird parallel universe where, let's say the Yankees win World Series and Judge still doesn't hit a home run. He sucks the entire postseason. It's like, is he just going to be one of those guys who just sucks in the postseason? Kind of like our boy A-Rod was. Pretty much to put that up there, but A-Rod
sucks in the postseason.
Yeah. It's crazy. I think he has the most strikeouts right now. But then, last thing
he's a 206 lifetime hitter in the postseason.
Is this is Judge?
Yeah, this is Judge, and he's played in 14 postseason series. He's played 50 50 postseason games he's played. He's never had a home run. That was his first home run. He's got 14 total home runs. But he's just not.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah, so he's got about exactly one home run for every series he's played in. But,
okay.
You know.
Okay. Those are okay power hitter numbers, I guess. But yeah, you're not your star. You're not what you want from your star. You want
they're okay, but like considering his,
what's his OPS?
Considering his career numbers outside of the postseason. His OPS in the postseason career is 769.
Interesting. Okay. That actually fills in that take a little bit.
I agree with you guys. Very mid. Very mid power hitter numbers. He's like not superstar postseason numbers. But I get postseason. If you carry your team for 6 to 7 months in the regular season, you might get a little tired by the time it comes to October.
True.
Yeah.
I mean, make Schwarzer look like Babe Ruth out there. I mean, so the other thing I'd say too is, the Lindor takes by both of you guys is actually, I did not think you were going to go there. I actually totally agree on those. But then lastly, I'll just say, if Ohtani wins his first postseason and wins the World Series, already, it's the debates of greatest of all time. I think easily up there. But now you're talking about something that Jordan did really well that I think cements him as always the GOAT talk that everybody goes back to. Where you're like, if your winning percentage of when you get to the playoffs is that high, then you're up, because that's
I agree.
It's not
that
Jordan makes Jordan.
Finals.
Yep.
It's not just that he won 6 finals. He went like 6 out of 8 or something,
6.
right?
He went 6 for 6 in the finals.
He lost on the year he came back, though. But you're right, yeah.
No, in
finals, when he went to the finals, he won.
Yep. Exactly.
Yeah, so you're right. If Ohtani goes to the World Series and loses, I think it'll be that. You're right. I think.
But I'd say too, I think Ohtani doesn't have the most to lose, though. I think you guys' points are Lindor has the most to. I don't know. It's interesting. I guess you could reverse the question. Who has the most to lose now?
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess that's the same.
Yeah, and I'd say J-Ram goes number 1 because there's just not as much pressure. But I will say, man, if Ohtani gets the ball in the 9th inning in Game 7 it's versus Judge, I'll put everything I said on this podcast to the side, and I will make sure my popcorn is warm, because that will be a wet dream for a baseball fan.
So tight.
I feel like that's not on the table, though, is it? Like, I think he's still rehabbing, right?
They had I mean, who knows? The internet's weird. They could have obviously taken a clip for somewhere else, but there is footage floating around of him throwing.
No, I know he's back to throwing a baseball, and he's back to doing some level of throwing workouts. I just don't know.
I see what you mean. Yeah. But Dave Roberts did say nothing's. He did. Not to twist your words completely, I think his quote was literally, "There's nothing off the table." But
no, I really don't know. So that's kind of why I was asking. It's like, I really.
Let's see, Dave Roberts quote on Ohtani. I mean, that would be fuck. I mean, dude, that would be legendary. Ohtani postseason. Can we go back to the Orioles for a second of how, like, what's good with them? That's 2 sweeps. And we're talking about a team that I think they only got swept twice this year. They never got swept last year. And they're 2 sweeps now in the postseason back-to-back. That's crazy.
My Orioles friend is not in a good place. Actually, no. His friend is the one who was like having that was his homie. The guy I work with, who's an Orioles fan, he's got a good perspective on it. It's the first thing he actually said to me is like, "Holy shit, what a relief! This season wasn't fun after June." Basically, like the Orioles kind of like struggled from like June on to like keep up with the Yankees. I think they had some injuries themselves, and a large part of their offensive core are rookies or guys who have been in the league 2 to 3 years at the most. So like, I feel like they're going to be a powerhouse over the next 5 or so years, but I don't think they've reached their maximum potential yet. So like, that's kind of what I see with it. Yeah. And then I think their biggest flaw, like a lot of these teams with huge offenses, is they've gone the opposite route of the Mariners, and they've put their faith in their offense, and they kind of have patchwork pitching staffs. And I think the Orioles did a good job to try and right that with getting like Corbin Burns and Zach Eflin from the Rays. But yeah, I think that's their big issue, is they don't have consistency in their pitching. And losing Felix Bautista last year was like, I think a big fuck up for them. Well, he got injured, but that fucked them up big time, because then they signed Craig Kimbrell, who was just total ass this year. Blew a lot of games for them, I think.
Yeah.
Did he get Tommy John or
Bautista? Yeah.
Bautista?
Yep.
Man, he is nasty.
Yeah. Well, at least they get a chance, unlike other teams that we were not going to talk about on this podcast. But just used to tell your buddy,
Yeah, I felt dirty saying the M team name in the postseason podcast. They don't belong here.
Man, this season was extra. We'll talk about it next podcast. But dude, the fact, I know we were out of it 3 games before the end of the season, but the fact they won those 3 games, and mathematically we tied with the Royals, who came back by 8 to beat us in that one game, is just like fucking real, man. It's like a sick fucking joke. It really is.
And just seeing their record, like a large part of their success was their interdivisional record, in particular against trash ass team the White Sox. They were 12-1 against the White Sox, I think, which, had we played better against the bad teams in our division, the Angels and the A's both.
What was the record I dropped on you? You're like Royals were 12-1 against the White Sox, and I was like, Mariners are 5-8 against the Angels.
No, and it's funny when you look at it, but at the same time, if we would have just played better against the non-competitive teams in our own division, we would have been in the postseason.
Which actually gives me a little hope. So yeah, we ended on a happy note.
Kind of, for whatever reason, after we said we weren't going to talk about the Mariners, I'm talking about the Mariners. I feel like we, in general, need to. There's an issue that the Mariners have had for quite a while of playing down to their competition. It seems like we seem to rise to the occasion and play well against very good teams, and then in the same sense, for whatever reason, if it's not taken seriously enough, or what. Yeah, we'll lose series to the, and it's hard to say now. Like the Tigers, obviously, were in the postseason, did well. I think we lost winnable games to the Tigers, who arguably are not a team that has that much more talent than the Mariners, I would say.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, and a lot of, I mean, just the way we lost to some of these play teams. But real quick, some of my predictions: Padres in the World Series, Brewers versus Guardians, and somewhere I said the Mariners are going to go on an 8-game winning streak and make the postseason. So yeah,
ouch.
all three of my predictions were trash, but. Man, we got more baseball. Yeah.
Can I tap in just to, not to talk about the Mariners, but definitely a fan favorite. Sir Jessica Winker, dude, has had an interesting postseason, dude.
That's what I was gonna say.
The mean streets of Bellevue out to the fucking.
That's what I was gonna
Queens,
say. For baseball
King of
Hippy
Queens.
Award, he's number one candidate.
Oh,
right
my
now.
bad. Okay, yeah. Sorry. I jumped the gun on that one.
Yeah, and then
Very
the
interesting.
I didn't,
dude.
Too, yeah, for sure.
All right, okay. We'll wait. Because I got a couple things to say about him.
No, we're ending
Very
the pod right now, man. Okay.
My bad.
Yeah.
My bad. Dude, I didn't realize this guy got beamed by the Brewers purely off the fact that they didn't fuck with him when he came back. I was reading about it. I thought it was just like some thing that he was talking shit like during the game, and they said he was a clubhouse dachshund, dude. And they just beamed him just off straight fucking fact that they didn't fuck with him while he was there, which is pretty insane because we know about the Winker, dude. We know about the Winker trials, the trials of a young man. And I gotta say, just off Baseball Hippie Award vibe, the hair does do some wonders for him, I gotta say. We're talking about lean, tall, sexy machines riding the base pad, dude. He looks like he's definitely going into his sex icon look now, dude. So, but all I could think is the text that he's at the Dave and Buster's in Bellevue.
Yeah,
that's all I go back to.
Don't judge a man on his heartbreak day.
Don't judge a man when he's drunk at Dave and Buster's alone at noon. Talking about his wife, family problems.
Seriously, you can't. Yeah. Well, imagine the things I said at Dave and Buster's after heartbreak, man. It's a sanctuary that shouldn't be recorded in Germany. You're trying to just play the little hoop game and drink some sugary ass cocktails. You don't want some kid with their damn microphone in your face asking you about your Instagram X model X.
But hey, man, bright side, he smoked the fuck out of that one ball. That was triple decker, dude. Big time home run.
He would have done fine on the Lenny Dykstra era. I just will say that out loud. I've been wanting to send you guys mad guys just getting tumbled that they keep coming up on my Instagram onto the baseball chat, but I'm like, I don't know if these guys need this much violence on their day to day. Like the 70s in baseball, just like 80s, 70s ball, just a completely different game at this point.
I'm saying as bad as you're right, because as bad as his stats were for the Mariners, like we're not getting swept twice by the Angels this year. If Jesse Winker's on the team, I guarantee that, because there's gonna be another fight. And it's gonna get the boys riled up for at least one game. But yeah, dude.
You do the math, Tobe. How many playoffs have we made in the last 24 years?
2,
Ouch.
3,
Ouch.
24 years.
Yeah, or 2.
Damn.
Yeah, you're right. 23. I don't know. Whatever. How many years of that has Jesse Winker been on our team? Yeah, that's what I thought. But he didn't make the playoff roster. But yeah, whatever.
Yeah, but for back spasms. Right. We did make it the year he was on our team, and he wasn't on the roster.
He didn't even like travel with the team. He just like left for the season and like went and did his own thing.
That only adds to his legend. He's like, I just got this like playoff team out of a 20-year drought by doing the double wink. And then he just like goes into oblivion. And he just gets on his motorcycle. He's like, yeah, they can do the playoffs without me.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Like, how much vodka is this guy drinking to not get invited to the playoffs? Like, crazy, bro. Next clubhouse, total turmoil, and then finally makes it on to the Grimace's
That's
Mets,
what
dude.
the sabermetrics aren't going to get you. Is players like Jay Wink. That's
true. That's why if they win the World Series, he's going to be a funny story for the whole year, his career.
Yeah, i.e. that guy in the World Cup who like took the World Cup and like put it on his crotch. Like, yeah, like up there on that level for sure.
Yeah, actually, yes. Yeah.
Like grown,
Except that,
immature grown men shit.
yeah, the goalie for Argentina. Except that dude did win.
That guy was
he wins.
more important to the Argentinian team than Jesse Winker is to the Mets. But still.
Yeah, he blocked Mbappe.
Metaphor still, yeah.
I mean, shit, if Jesse Winker hits a home run to win in the World Series,
there's more baseball to be
still
played.
time on the clock, yeah.
Any closing? Anything to end it, guys? I mean, because we got,
Or what are final predictions? Do we even say? Or let's just pick a winner. Let's go through us. Let's see what
my predictions
pick a winner. Pick a winner and games. How many games? How many games are we talking?
I mean, I'm just gonna go Mets in 7 because I want that, But
Interesting.
I don't know what I want. I want the Mets because then I can just be like
Mets versus who?
Dodgers shit the bed again.
Oh,
versus
okay.
Yankees.
Yeah.
But in the reality is, I know how this fucking goes, man. It was like I tried to will it with the Mariners this year. If I will them to winning, they will catch this streak, and I was pretty close. They started to get a little hot, but it doesn't work like that, man. So it's gonna be Dodgers Yankees. It's gonna go to 7. It's just the powers that be, man. With some things are just the forces, the weather. Looking at the meteorology, I'd be remiss to say it's not Dodgers Yankees. Mostly because we're sitting at a 2-1 in both series. But I'm going Mets in 7. Yeah.
2-0.
2-0, excuse me, and then 2-1 on the other side. Bremer, you're going Dodgers?
Dodgers in 4. They're going to sweep the Yankees in the World Series.
There we go. That's what I'm about. That's what I'm about, everybody. That hot shit. Hot takes. I'm only hot takes.
Damn.
Someone's got to sell these subscriptions. You know what I'm saying? We can't just have that's why I went off on those picks last month. Yeah. All right, Toe. Close
I'm
this
gonna
out.
go. Let's go. Man, yeah, 2-0. I really want to do the Guardians, but I'm gonna go. Yeah, I'm gonna go Dodgers in 6. Fuck it, against the Yanks. Man, actually, I'm gonna go Dodgers 6 against the Guardians. Just switch it up.
That's good. Yeah. Look
Might
at
as
what
well.
we've become.
No reason why, but I could see the Yankees shitting the bed in this series.
I hate that the Dodgers are the favorite. I just want to say that. Because
I come off sounding like a Dodgers fan. I'm really a not Yankees fan and an anti-Angels fan. I want the Angels to have the hurt of Ohtani winning the World Series the first year that he goes to the team across town. That's what I want. I also want interesting baseball. And I know I said they're going to sweep, but I think ideally that's my prediction. I think ideally we'll get 7, someone winning in 7 between the Yankees and the Dodgers, with both teams superstars showing up to play, and
Garrett Cole dealing.
Garrett Cole dealing, Jay Flair dealing, Yama dealing.
Garrett Cole getting shelled, and then they come back the next game. It's fine.
Bueller dealing.
Garrett Cole rests up the arm. Garrett Cole, they bring in. Okay, here you go. Game 7.
Garrett Cole close the game.
Shohei versus Ohtani. 9th inning. Tied. Oh, no. Sorry. Oh, wait. Actually, this is exactly it. Yeah. Top of the 9th. Ohtani versus Judge. Strike 3. Inning over. Next inning, they bring back Garrett Cole versus Ohtani. Walks in the winning run. Walks in the winning run. Bases loaded. Game, World Series over. Drink your IPAs. That's my prediction. Okay, wait. I have third nominee. I know we're running along. Third nominee for baseball hippie Kiki Hernandez for just grabbing his third base coach's nuts after hitting the home run and power thrusting Will
You're right.
Smith.
Kiki Hernandez has to be on the
Postseason
baseball hippie
legend.
list of award possibilities. He's up there in the Jock Peterson on Pearls because I'm a pretty bitch era.
True. Then one last thing though, because I know we're probably not gonna ever talk about this again running through the thing, but what's your guys' opinion on the divisional series to change to 7 games? Because I just want to throw out one thing is like I was talking to Joshua, it's like I don't obviously maybe the stats are wrong and I could completely get my opinion changed on this, and maybe I don't know the numbers, but I'm like, I don't even understand how in a series of 5 games, how being the number 1 team, you have that much of an advantage because
you don't.
You're going in. Yeah, it almost seems fair play because you're going 2-2.
Yeah, the best record team is 0-6 in that round. Is crazy.
It's weird, and its best case scenario, which I think is just kind of weird viewership, is let's say you do sweep or let's say you go 2-1, or
I guess they're 1-6 because the Dodgers just won, didn't they? Yeah, sorry.
Right, but it's your most of the games. Let's say if you do have a good series, is you're winning in the opposing stadium's field, which I always think is a weird look. Like if you're gonna go to the championship, is that you're celebrating and.
Yeah,
I don't know. So
I don't know. I disagree because Game 7.
That would happen in a 7-game series too, though. Yeah. Right.
That's not the reason.
True.
I like the 5 games.
I guess that's coming from a basketball thing where they call it a gentleman sweep, where they'll go back. They'll do the 2-2 or they'll do a 3-1 and then go back.
Yeah. Anything to get the wild card more of a chance to win, I'm cool with. I like that. Yeah.
I don't know how you'd fix this without going back to only 2 wild card teams. I don't mind the 3rd wild card team. The only thing I don't like about the current playoff layout is that a division winner can lose a 3-game series to a wild card team in the first round.
Yeah, I think that's what Tobe's getting at too. Yeah. See, I don't mind that, but I can see why you guys.
But yeah, that makes more sense. Yeah.
Yeah. So you would say 7 so that a wild card.
No. I'm saying in the wild. So in the wild card series.
Oh, the 3-game series.
The division winner. The division winner with the worst record.
I know.
So the third seed from that league.
Yeah.
The Astros and the Brewers, and they both lost in the wild card series. They have to play their way in. You can win your division and still have to play your way into the postseason, basically, which is kind of crazy to me.
Yeah, that's a little.
I think the only way to fix that would be to eliminate
or add another wild card.
Add another wild card, or
no, that wouldn't work. You have to add.
It wouldn't. Yeah, I guess the other thing you could do is have the 3rd wild card teams.
You have the wild card 1 skip the wild card round.
You can have a wild card 1. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be.
Oh man.
Anyway, I don't know. I think to me that's like the glaring issue with the current format. I don't mind the 5-game series in the division series.
Okay, I like it. You guys swept me a little bit. Yeah. I was just wondering. I guess I was coming from different sports viewing it because I don't know. I feel like baseball.
No, I think that's a common criticism of
real shit, though. Yeah,
I think that's a common criticism of the MLB postseason is because it's the only sport that does it like that.
Right.
And if we're
it's cool though. I mean,
if we're mixing it up, I would say I'd love to see an in-season tournament in the MLB that's head-to-head 1-round elimination games, because obviously in the playoffs that would be ridiculous, but like for an in-season tournament that would be hella fun to watch, like a bunch of teams just have a 1-game or like maybe like the 3-game series be the like series. That could be fun. I don't know.
I think that'd be sick. I don't think they need to make the baseball season any longer though.
Yeah.
I get if they could figure out the schedule to like work it in and
Shit,
have,
if Manfred.
because is
could
that how
get
they
his-
do it in the NBA with the in-season tournament? Certain games count towards the tournament,
Yes.
and other ones don't.
And then there's like a bracket, so they have like games. Like they have a bunch of group stages, which is just basically like the season, except this game's more important than like another game.
Yeah,
And then they
yeah.
have like a small bracket that like there's a part of the season that's like to be decided if you're one of those teams, and then like the losers play or something. I don't know. So they keep it flowing. They don't just like stop it. Yeah. I will say if Manfred got his way, it would just be Yankees versus Dodgers every game, and then the playoffs would be like all the other teams join. You know what I'm saying?
Plans to play the Yankees Dodgers.
Like, yeah, that's the MLB's big. That's what they want to do in the future. They just want Yankees versus Dodgers every single game, and then if you want other games, you have to pay extra money to watch them.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Or another thing politically, if we want to pay off America's deficit, we could just sell the Dodgers to another country and then take the sale of that team and just apply it to our deficit, and boom, we'd be back in the green.
True.
I got ideas.
You're like $100. I think we're in the trillions, so I don't know. I think they're still only in the billions, but a little point shaving.
Yeah.
That's this year. Well,
Are you
anyways,
guys gonna bet on the World Series?
No, I don't bet on sports.
Are we gonna get sponsored by FanDuel next season?
My parlays would be out of control. I would just lose all of them.
I might join TikTok.
32
this year.
team parlay.
Next year. I'm
Join
thinking-
TikTok.
Yeah, somebody.
I don't know.
convinced
That's
me,
a risky
Tobe-
move. That'll never
Tobe-
hit. That fucking commercial, that Snoqualmie
yeah.
commercial.
I love gambling a little too much.
I love gambling. Don't get me wrong, but I feel like sports gambling is where I draw the line because I feel, yeah, it's a dark road I don't want to go down.
I'm saying.
The long and winding
I don't
road.
need to be dropping Otani
Tuesday.
parlays on a Tuesday.
Gambling debt.
Too much steady income and affinity towards sports and gambling. That combination is just not good in my life.
Dude,
That would be
if
not
his
a great
boy,
way to enter my 40s. I'll just say that right now.
Yeah.
if his boy ever comes out, if Ipe ever comes out, he should definitely be sponsored. FanDuel, Ipe's picks.
So funny.
Man. We should make that graphic. That shit.
Yeah,
is
we
funny.
should. Free
Ipe's
Ipe.
picks.
Free Ipe.
Ipe's
There's
picks, dude.
some tweet when Pete
like-
Rose.
He's like, God damn, you know how much I love to bet on this Dodgers Met series? Holy
Presented
shit.
by FanDuel, Ipe's picks from behind bars. God damn.
Someone tweeted when P Rose died, like you either die the hero or live long enough to see your sport you got banned from be presented by FanDuel.
Yeah, damn. That's real shit. That's tough.
So true. Yeah, Pete Rose is lovable.
Edie.
Yeah, he came out and then he said Manfred's or not. It was the it was Manfred. I think he said.
I think he was kind of a piece of trash, actually.
Have you
He's a
been
great
betting on
baseball
the
player.
games? And he's like, he said he like called him back. He said no, and then like a day later he called him back and he's like, actually, yeah, I do. 'Cause- No, he said we'll let you in the Hall of Fame this year, Pete. You just can't gamble. Like if we find out that
I
you're
saw it.
gambling, it's bad.
I
And
saw
he's
the
like,
same video.
don't
yeah.
worry, we're fine. And then the next day he called him back and he's like, actually, I still gamble every day of
Dude,
my
no,
life.
bro,
He was
the
just like,
video-
God damn it, Pete. I can't. How am I supposed to sell this to the board?
Dude, the video I saw, not only was it that, it's like it's like this weekend at the Barrage, like Pete Rose hosts a gambling session. Like you can go and pay to sign up and gamble with Pete Rose. He made his money off it, you know.
Yeah.
It's all good. I mean,
Yeah.
the real shit is that record probably will never get broke, so it's probably better than being in the Hall of Fame, to be honest.
Yeah.
Actually, it's probably not, but
Real shit. Real shit.
real
All right,
shit,
boys.
real shit.
Well, it's good to pod with you, and I'll see you in the World Series.
Yeah.
And this is the Baseball Hippie Show, a show about psychedelia, baseball, and denuclearization. Hit the sub. We need 70 more subscribers, and then we can be youtube.com/the Baseball Hippie Show. But now we're just a random set of numbers, letters.
Shout out, Jay.